felt like it went away from the whole message of the series, right? The impact that the series is supposed to have. It felt like the series was supposed to be a documentation of the times, and it went away from that. It just became, the cliche drug dealing show like Power. That's what made The Wire special, because they were able to document the Baltimore culture, right? And I felt like with SnowFall, it was heading down that same direction, but because of John Singleton, who grew up in that area, passing, that whole sort of message went away. What is good, YouTube? This is your boy Aaron,
Brian,
and this is the Courtside Views Beyond Sports. And today, we are talking about one of my favorite series of all time. We're talking about SnowFall. The series just ended not too long ago on Wednesday. It's Friday today, so 2 days have gone by. Just Twitter has exploded because of that ending.
Yeah.
A lot of controversy regarding the ending. I'll say this. The ending was unexpected because I've watched a lot of drug dealing shows, and generally, before I go any further, people that are watching this, I'm gonna spoil all of the show. So this is not a review where it's spoiler free and it's me trying to cater to the people that haven't watched the show. If you haven't watched the show, shame on you for clicking this video. Click off this video, go watch the series, and then come back and watch our review. And if you don't care about spoilers, that's cool. But anywho, back to what I was saying. I felt like the ending was very unpredictable because generally in drug dealing shows, the main character, who is often the villain, either gets killed or goes to jail. And so this ending was a lot different. And I thought it was more impactful than, let's say, Franklin gets shot or Franklin gets arrested and goes to jail.
Right.
I actually liked the ending. Now, obviously, the execution could have been a lot better, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But, overall, I liked the ending. I liked Franklin Saint's sort of conclusion to his story because it sort of came full circle, right? To the first episode and to the last when it comes to his father and his addiction and his trauma and sort of that whole father-son relationship and how you end up like your father. His mother said it. And in the black community, you hear that a lot when it comes to mothers, like, don't end up like your father. And so before we get to the ending, though, I want to reflect on the entire series from start and to finish. I'm not going to go on like a 25, 30 minute,
spiel.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to speed through it. First of all, let's rank the seasons.
Okay.
All right. For me, I would say I would go, season 1 and 3 was phenomenal. I have to get that away.
For me, it's 3-1.
Yeah, 3. Ooh, you go 1 over 2?
Yeah.
Wait,
what happened in season 2?
They started getting a lot of money, and he killed Kevin. He killed Kevin that season.
Yeah.
Remember? And the whole friction with the Mexicans and all that.
Oh, so 3-2-1. Okay.
Yeah. So I would go 3-2-1. 1 was people. There's a lot of because it's very slow. It starts off like real slow, and I think one of the things that was
it was a good intro.
It was, but like one of the things with 1 was it was a lot of here's Franklin, here's the Mexicans. Like it was a lot of back and forth. It wasn't like just Franklin like it was season 4 and beyond. And I got a little frustrated. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, bro, we need to get back to Franklin, bro, because this shit is heat. But it was still good though. I still enjoyed it. But yeah, I would go 3-2-1. I'm not counting down, but 3-2-1, and then I'll probably go 4. I go 6 and I go 5. That's how I do it.
Yep, that's exactly how I got it.
And I enjoyed. Listen, 3 was just phenomenal. Just man, the introduction to Man Boy. I forgot what else. There was
something about season 3s, man. They always just
something drug dealing shows like The Wire. If you ever watch Power, season 3 is phenomenal, and Power as
Even
well.
even Game of Thrones season 3 was crazy.
Breaking Bad, if you ever watched Breaking Bad, that was incredible. Better Call Saul, if you ever watched Better
Even
Call
in
Saul.
anime, the 3rd season of Attack on Titan was insane.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Number 3 is the lucky number
Man,
for
I
some
don't
reason.
know.
But yeah, season 3 was the bomb. It was, and I think it was the whole thing with Wanda and Mel. Oh yeah, and
The cop.
the cop.
Yeah,
That right there. See, what made the first 3 seasons so great? It felt like almost like a docu-series in a sense. You ever watch, like, I don't know if you ever like been in school and the teacher would make you like watch like something like this History Channel series, and they would do like a reenactment of the battle or something. That's what it felt like with SnowFall and Waste. If you felt like you were like really watching like actual events transpire,
Right.
and like the music was there, like the whole scenery and
The
everything.
cinematography.
Yeah, the cinematography was phenomenal, and then also like they really sort of emphasized just the impact that the drugs are having on everybody else around. And then after season 3, it went to more gangs, but I felt like they didn't like really take advantage of it as much, the whole Bloods and Crips thing. And then it just went downhill from there.
Yeah.
I just feel like the problem with the series is that after season 3, it didn't feel like it didn't feel like it was in the 80s. Like, it didn't feel like it had that same sort of feel, right? Where I was watching something and it felt like it was events that actually happened, per se. It just, okay, here's Franklin. We're just going to document Franklin, and it's just going to be a bunch of killing, and, he's going to make a bunch of money, and he's going to have an op. You feel me? He's going to have a person that he gotta kill or something. It wasn't anything. It felt like it went away from the whole message of the series, right? The whole the impact that the series is supposed to have. It felt like the series was supposed to be a documentation of the times, and it went away from that. It just became, the cliche drug dealing show like Power. That's what made The Wire special, because they were able to document the Baltimore culture, right? And I felt like with SnowFall, it was heading down that same direction, but because of John Singleton, who grew up in that area, passing, that whole sort of message went away.
Yeah.
So
essentially, yeah.
So how you feel? Just reflect on just the 6 seasons from this, season 1 and 3, and then 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the bad first.
Okay, go ahead.
Seasons. I actually like season 4 quite a bit.
Yeah, me too.
But I could tell it started. That's when stuff started to backslide. But season 5 and 6, season 5 was hands down the worst season on the show. I don't know what they was cooking up in the writers' room, but no. In season 6. They had a lot of season 6 did have some pretty good episodes, I must say. They had I believe they have 2 episodes in that season that are top 10 in the series. So congratulations on that. But first I want to before we get into the writer, I want to give my props to the actors on SnowFall, because they killed it, especially Damson Idris, the main character Franklin.
Yes,
he killed it, man. Even when the writing was shaky, he still put on great performances, and it was just a masterclass.
Yes.
The last episode finale was a masterclass in acting. You really felt everything Franklin was feeling. It
felt
was
his downfall.
Yeah. You could really it feels like he was dang, man, it's sad to see my boy like this. You think that's your man's in them, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, season 5 and 6 could have been executed way better. You could tell the writers kind of they turned into D&D from Game of Thrones, where they're well, we don't really know what to do. The source material's gone, so just random. Let's just think of how we should, instead of what was John Singleton's vision and how do we build off of that. They kind of just oh well,
we gotta do our own thing.
Yeah,
now.
It kind of lost that feel. Like you said, it started to become the other drug shows, the Powers and all of that, instead of it being
its own thing.
Exactly, uniqueness. It started to copy other shows, formulas, and it just lost its lost its touch. The cinematography remained consistent in my opinion throughout the whole, and the music choices and all that. But the dialogue definitely took a hit. But they still had moments though.
Yes.
They still had moments throughout, even through the bad scenes. There were still good moments of, the characters putting on great performances, good dialogue, but it just wasn't consistent. But the first 3 seasons,
I'll put it up with any show.
Made me fall in love with the show, man. Oh my goodness, those first 3 seasons. I watch it back and I'm just like, what happened?
Yes.
Like it just felt completely. It felt like a different show, kind of. Like it's crazy. People was posting clips on Twitter, and I was like, man, this feels like a completely different show. Like the tone felt different. The vibe was different. Like, oh my goodness, man.
Yo, like I ain't gonna lie, like I've never felt like so much anticipation for like a show in a while, because I remember, like, I watched season 2 first. I didn't watch season 1, which is crazy, right? I forget what season 2 came out. I think it may have came out like 2017, 2018. So I watched season 2 first. I didn't even know there was a season 1. I thought that was season 1. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell? Because they show the first episode, they show like previous moments from the last season. So I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, they just showing all these clips or whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I find out, there's a season 1. I was like, bet, I'm about to watch this. And I realized, this is kind of slow compared to season 2. But it's still good, though. It's still good. And, yeah, again, like, it was one of those shows where it felt like the world stopped when the show came on. Like, every time it came on, I tweet, I was like, everybody be quiet. SnowFall's on. Like, that's how good it was. And yeah, every time it came on, it felt like the world stopped, and it was just, that show was on. I was telling everybody that I know, yo, you gotta watch SnowFall. You gotta watch SnowFall. This shit is good, because nobody really knew about it. Like season 1, I ain't never heard of it. But
my mom put me on the SnowFall.
Yeah, but then season 2 came around. They started like really promoting it, really putting it out there. Like I kept seeing like commercials of it. Promos on FX and other stations. I saw John Singleton and Damson. They went to Breakfast Club and they promoted. I was like, all right, this shit about to be good. I already know. And then they talk about, they promote, this is based in the 80s and crack era. I'm like, oh yeah, this shit about to be good. And so when it came on, I wasn't surprised. I was like, this is peak fiction at its finest. And yeah, again, the actors were phenomenal. The brother who played Jerome was
Amin Joseph.
My favorite character. He brought just a comedic relief to a tragic story. He was absolutely funny. I also like the guy who played Leon as well. Michelle Hyatt, who played Franklin Sate's mother. You already know from The Wire. If Avon Barksdale was around, he wouldn't have let that shit happen. He wouldn't have let her shoot Teddy. That's all I got to say on that matter. Because Avon was not, when it comes to his money, he don't play around. So, yeah, but anywho, that's I just had to put that out there. It's funny. There was a tweet where it was like, if you have Michelle Hyatt playing the mother in of the one of the characters in the drug dealing show, you know the son is cooked. Like, remember in The Wire with that one dude, I forgot his name. He was the son of her, whatever, and also he was the nephew of Avon, whatever. But he got killed in the prison and stuff, and then obviously with Franklin and stuff. There's this whole debate. It's a lot of stuff going on Twitter. People going back and forth. Oh, Leon and Sissy betrayed Franklin. Franklin did all this stuff for him. Blah 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 blah. Like,
I haven't seen them discussions,
bro. It's insane.
Really?
Yes. Go on Twitter and hashtag SnowFall. I'm telling you, people are just going crazy because of just what Sissy did and what Leon did. My whole thing is, Franklin, the last episode, he was tripping. He was wilding. Like, if he came to his senses, right, and he wasn't on this sort of vibe like, hey, Leon, man, I need you to give all that money up front right now, and you got to trust me. Why would I trust you? bro, you're not in the right mental state, and I already gave you 500 grand. Why would I give you all the rest of the money I have when I'm trying to build something? And another thing I was confused of, but I'm glad that Sissy sort of addressed it to Leon, because Leon was like, we need a new supplier. I'm like, what are you talking about? You just said you trying to change the community, but you said we need a new supplier. And then so I was glad that when Leon visits Sissy, that Sissy was like, I like how you change, but I don't like what you're doing, right? I like you trying to make a change, but I don't like how you're doing it. So I'm glad she addressed that. I'm glad that Leon came to his senses, because I was about to say, like, that is bad character development. If you just he's gonna be, oh yeah, I want to change the community, but then say, oh, we need a new supplier. Like that don't make no sense. Yeah. But yeah, I for one think that they're saying, oh, Sissy was selfish, Leon selfish, oh, everybody turned on him. I just think that Franklin was just out of his mind. And at the end of the day, like, Veronica left him. I mean, can you blame her?
No.
You can't really blame her, because he put his hands on her and he was threatening her, like about to kill her. I'll be running too. Took the money and run. I mean, I'd be sick too. I'd be sick if I made all that money by myself and then this chick come out of nowhere and steals my money and runs with my kid. But at the end of the day, she was there with you the entire time. She was there with you when Teddy stole your money. She didn't leave you at all, and she has your baby. Man, you gotta chill out with that. But overall, I don't think nobody betrayed Franklin. Only person that betrayed Franklin was Louis. That's the only person that betrayed Franklin. Everybody else, the mother, Leon, the fiance, those people held it down until the end. But Franklin, just his ego, his pride. The good song choice, by the way, at the end. That was a good song choice. But his pride just got away of everything, and that's where, his downfall. So how you feel about that debate? Do you think that they betrayed him?
I think Sissy did betray him.
Why you say that?
Because all she had to do was wait 10 seconds. And then she said she didn't like what Franklin was becoming, but you'd rather him be on the street looking like a bum? Is that what you want for your child? Now you don't got your house and nothing. Your legacy is finished. Well, that's what you wanted for your kid? That's ridiculous.
Here's the argument that I think if you're looking at her perspective, she didn't think that Teddy was going to actually give him the money. She thought that Teddy was bluffing because Teddy lies. He deceives. And so, okay, let's say, all right, boom. Franklin so happens to get the money. Well, number one, that's a lot of money. And, he's a drug dealer, and Teddy, his friend, is right there as well. So he's, with the CIA as well. A lot of things can happen having all that money from, like Leon said, it's blood money, right? You got it from dealing drugs. So there can be a lot of implications involved with that money. Okay, Teddy dies. Well, his partner over there might come after him next. There's just a lot of implications. It did seem like Teddy was going to give him the money. I mean, on the phone call, it sounded like he was about to transfer the funds. But overall, I can see how I see Sissy's point of view. I understand Sissy's point of view. Is it some bullshit? Yes. But at the same time, I understand what she means, because when the money it completely just consumed him pretty much. Like, he was a different person because of the money. Like, he just couldn't. He literally told her, "I'm fine with not talking to you anymore." He literally said that up to her face. So, yeah, man, he was just, anybody get in the way of the money, they're going to get got. And I mean, yeah, that's how I feel. Betrayed, I don't know if it's a betrayal.
I think it is.
It is? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think because if he gets the money, the CIA might mess around and go after him next.
Well, he a grown man. He can live with his choices. He knew the risk.
But then, okay, all right, well.
Sometimes you got to let him touch the stove to see if it's hot.
I guess. I don't know, man. I mean, it is some bullshit. I think another thing, I thought that Teddy, since he's like the antagonist per se, I felt like they downplayed him a little bit. I felt like the 6th season, like Teddy is the cerebral guy, right? Like this dude taking down dangerous people.
Mm-hmm.
And to get outplayed like that, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Franklin is smart. I think he went to Harvard or Yale, whatever, before he got kicked out. I forgot why. I don't know if it was because he was dealing drugs or whatever, but he got kicked out. So I can understand that. But it just felt like Teddy got done bad by the writers. I felt like they didn't know what to really, they just wanted to get him out here some way. So they're like, all right, we'll just let Sissy kill him, which is cool. But in that fashion, though, that easily, I felt like for his character, how dangerous he is, I think they should have done something better. They could have been more creative in, his downfall. And yeah. I was a little disappointed about it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, so that's how he goes out.
Yeah, man. Well, that just, it was like, dude, this guy right here was literally one step ahead of everybody. One step ahead of the KGB guy who was literally investigating him, literally like damn near a ghost half of the time. And he got one up of him. So you telling me Franklin, a guy out of South Central California who didn't have any, CIA training, didn't have any, police training. He's a very smart guy, but he ain't have no training like that. You telling me he's going to outsmart him?
He technically did, yeah, true.
Yeah, because they staged it. They staged it like Louis caught him and stuff like that, but it really wasn't. But, man, I don't know how I feel about it. I felt like that was just plot armor. That was some shit off of anime where you get the main character, the advantage because he's the main character. But it is what it is. I mean, overall, it was a really good series. It's just season 5 and 6 were just. I mean, well, season 6 they had their moments. They redeemed themselves from season 5. It could have been a lot better. I felt like, again, after season 3. We lost a lot of that just special sort of aura when it comes to the series because the whole gang thing, they should have done a better job. I felt like if they would have done a better job with the whole thing with the gangs, with Manboy and with Scully, like the whole Crips and the Bloods thing, it would have just made the series 10 times better, but it was still I felt like although season 4 didn't deliver as I thought it would, they still did a really good job in certain aspects. Like that one scene, remember? I think it was with Jerome. It was like I think it may have been like a shootout or something, and they had like the camera like sort of do a 360, and it was just like a bunch of like just chaos around them. I thought that was a great moment. So like stuff like that, like, and then the whole thing with Leon and the baby and Scully's baby mother. I thought that was a great scene because it just shows like just what happens when it comes to this lifestyle. But again, they still missed the ball. Like it could have been a lot better. It could have went from like maybe a 7.5 to like a fucking 9 if they would have done a better job and sort of incorporating gang culture into it. But it is what it is. That's the end of SnowFall. I don't know how I feel about these spinoffs, but yeah,
I mean, one's about the rap game, so it might be decent. I don't know.
So like just going to the entire like the last episode, just where would you rate it from 1 to 10? Where would you rate the last episode?
Up until the end, it was looking like an 8, but that ending.
What's wrong with the ending? Oh, because of the time skip.
Yeah, the whole time skip stuff. Like it's just lazy in my opinion. It feels like they just ran out of ideas and said, okay, let's wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
And the last scene was really carried by the acting.
Mm-hmm.
So I say finale, I give it about a 7.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think you make a great point because I think that the time skip, it came out of nowhere. Like, it was just like, oh, Franklin's just fucked. He's fucked. And then, like you said, you wanted to see like a montage of him sort of drinking and going crazy and stuff like that. And I agree with you. They could have done something like that. And I think that Leon and some other characters, they should have gotten more sort of shine a little bit because Leon, what he's doing, trying to uplift the community, I felt like they should have sort of tapped into that a little bit more. I think that they didn't do. It was really about, okay, let's conclude Franklin's story. They were really sort of focusing on Franklin, but I felt like Leon was also a pivotal part of the story. His growth as a character, going from just this demon killing everybody left and right, whooping somebody's ass if you look at him wrong, talking to him wrong, to now he's trying to uplift this community. Now, the final 30 seconds was surreal. Like, gave me goosebumps. Like, every time I see that clip, I'm just like, man, this shit. Ugh. Like, I'm on Twitter and I see that clip all the time, and I'm just like, man, this can't be real. This man is a whole bum. And Leon, he's like, dude, I'm a dude, let me pay the property tax, let me pay the sales tax and all this other stuff. And Franklin's just like, no, brother. No, his pride got in the way. And that's why I'm like, how is Leon portraying him when he's literally giving him a helping hand? As long as Franklin just, I don't know, humbles himself and acts like he wants to better himself, but he doesn't. Sometimes you can't save. There's some people you just can't save, and it just showed right there. But yeah, that scene is just great scene, great conclusion. Just if you're gonna end the series like that, that's a great conclusion. But overall, I will give the series, if I have to rate it, man, season 1 through 4 is great. It's really good to me. So I would probably give it an 8 for the simple fact that season 1 through 4 just had so much, like, it really, like, they really did their thing from season 1 through 4. I know the final 2 weren't as great, but because of those 4 seasons, I'll probably give it an 8. Off of that alone. Season 6 wasn't terrible. It was just season 5 that was just awful.
Yeah, 8 seems fair.
Mm-hmm.
8 seems fair.
Mm-hmm. Which is not bad. I mean, an 8 is not bad at all. That's actually really good. And I was looking at on online. I think IMDb has like 8.2. So yeah, I think that's a fair series. I would recommend anybody to watch this series. It has a lot of replay value in my opinion. I'll probably watch it again years from now because season 1 through 3 is just a lot of just iconic moments. For crying out loud, the scene with Franklin and Leon in the car where he's just like, I built this shit brick by brick. Like, that's just iconic moment after iconic moment. But yeah, I think that'll do it for the SnowFall review. I'm going to miss the show a lot, but yeah, man, we're just going to have to see what else they're going to do.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and we will see you guys on the next episode of Courtside Views Beyond Sports.